Have you ever woken up feeling anxious, heavy, or unmotivated? And no matter how hard you try to think positive, the feeling won't budge. Then later you eat, rest, or calm your body and suddenly your mood shifts. What if the voice steering that emotional storm wasn't just your mind, but trillions of microscopic organisms living quietly inside your gut? Stay with me, because by the end of this story, you'll understand why your emotions are not a personal failure, why willpower alone often doesn't work, and how caring for your body may be one of the most compassionate mental health tools you've been overlooking. Imagine this scene. It's late evening. The room is dim, your phone glows softly in your hand, and you're scrolling, hoping something distracts you from the unease sitting in your chest. Nothing bad happened today. No argument, no disaster. And yet your body feels tense. Your thoughts loop. Your stomach feels tight. You tell yourself, I should be fine. But you're not. And the harder you try to reason your way out of the feeling, the louder it becomes. This is where many people start blaming themselves. Why am I like this? What's wrong with me? But what if nothing is wrong with you at all? What if your body is trying to communicate something your mind hasn't been taught to listen to yet? For decades, mental health was framed as a top-down process. Thoughts create feelings. Change the thoughts, fix the feelings. And while that's partly true, neuroscience has revealed something quietly revolutionary. Your brain is not in full control. In fact, much of your emotional experience is shaped from the bottom up, starting in your gut. This isn't metaphorical. It's biological. Your digestive system contains a vast ecosystem of bacteria known as the gut microbiome. These bacteria don't just help digest food. They produce neurotransmitters. They influence inflammation. They communicate with your brain through nerves, hormones, and immune signals. They help decide whether your nervous system feels safe or threatened, calm or on edge. Here's the part most people don't realize. About 90% of your body's serotonin, the neurotransmitter often associated with mood stability and emotional well-being, is produced in the gut, not the brain. Dopamine, GABA, and other mood-regulating chemicals are also influenced by gut bacteria. So when your gut environment is stressed, inflamed, or depleted, your emotional world can feel unstable, even if your life circumstances are objectively fine. This is one reason people can experience anxiety or low mood without a clear psychological trigger. The signal isn't coming from your thoughts first. It's coming from your body. Now let's slow this down, because this is where self-compassion begins. Your gut and your brain are in constant conversation through something called the gut-brain axis. This communication highway includes the vagus nerve, a major nerve that runs from your brainstem down into your digestive system. When your gut bacteria are balanced and supported, they send calming signals up this nerve, telling your brain we're safe. We have enough resources. You can relax. But when the gut is irritated by chronic stress, lack of sleep, highly processed foods, antibiotics, or emotional overload, it sends danger signals instead. Your brain doesn't interpret these signals as gut imbalance. It interprets them as anxiety, irritability, low motivation, or sadness. This is where the conflict deepens. Many people are taught to fight these emotions, to override them, push through. But if the message is coming from the body, fighting it is like arguing with a smoke alarm instead of checking for smoke. Your nervous system isn't being dramatic. It's responding to information. And once you understand that, something powerful happens. Shame starts to dissolve. Curiosity replaces self-criticism. You stop asking, what's wrong with me? And start asking, what is my body asking for right now? Let's talk about stress for a moment. Chronic stress doesn't just live in your thoughts. It physically alters your gut microbiome. Stress hormones like cortisol can reduce beneficial bacteria and increase inflammatory ones. Over time, this can lead to what researchers call leaky gut, where the intestinal lining becomes more permeable. This allows inflammatory molecules to enter the bloodstream, which then reach the brain and amplify emotional reactivity. In simple terms, prolonged stress can make your body more sensitive, your emotions more intense, and your recovery slower. Not because you're weak, but because your system is overloaded. Here's the dramatic moment most people don't see coming. In animal studies, When researchers transplant gut bacteria from anxious or depressed animals into healthy ones, the recipients begin to show anxiety-like or depressive behaviors, even without any stressful experiences. And when gut bacteria from calm, resilient animals are transplanted into stressed ones, emotional regulation improves. This tells us something profound. Emotional patterns can be influenced by biology independent of conscious thought. Your feelings are not just stories you tell yourself. They are states your body enters. This doesn't mean psychology doesn't matter. It means psychology and physiology are inseparable. Your thoughts can influence your gut, and your gut can influence your thoughts. It's a loop, not a hierarchy. When you're emotionally overwhelmed, your digestion often slows. When your digestion is impaired, your emotional resilience drops. This is why anxiety can come with stomach pain, nausea, or appetite changes. It's also why depression often includes fatigue, brain fog, and digestive issues. The body and mind are speaking the same language, just through different channels. Now let's shift gently toward hope, because understanding this gives you more agency, not less. Supporting your mental health doesn't always start with changing your mindset. Sometimes it starts with nourishment, regular meals, fiber-rich foods that feed beneficial bacteria, fermented foods that introduce helpful microbes. Adequate sleep. Tea allows your gut lining to repair. Gentle movement that stimulates digestion and vagal tone. Even practices like slow breathing, mindfulness, and gratitude can positively affect the gut-brain axis by calming the nervous system. And here's an important clarification. This is not about blaming food for mental illness or suggesting diet alone can cure everything. Mental health is complex. Genetics, trauma, environment, and neurochemistry all play roles. But what this perspective offers is relief. Relief from the idea that you should be able to think your way out of every emotional state. Relief from the pressure to be endlessly resilient. It reframes healing as collaboration with your body, not domination over it. Think back to that quiet evening, scrolling in the dark. What if instead of pushing the feeling away, you listened differently? What if you asked, have I eaten enough today? Have I rested? Have I been under constant pressure? What if emotional regulation wasn't just a mental skill, but a biological rhythm that needs support? That shift alone can soften the experience. You're no longer broken. You're responding. This awareness also deepens empathy for others. When someone is irritable, withdrawn, or emotionally reactive, it may not be a character flaw. It may be a nervous system under strain, a gut-brain loop stuck in survival mode. And when we approach mental health through this integrated lens, treatment becomes kinder, more effective, and more sustainable. So here's where the story resolves. Your emotions are not enemies to defeat. Their messages are shaped by both mind and body. Your gut bacteria are not controlling you in a sinister way, but they are influencing the terrain in which your emotions arise. When you support that terrain, emotional clarity becomes more accessible. Not instantly, not perfectly, but gradually, gently, in a way that feels humane. If this perspective resonated with you, stay with this channel. These conversations are about understanding your brain, your body, and your emotional patterns without fear or judgment. Mental health isn't about forcing yourself to feel better. It's about learning how your system works so you can work with it. If you want more science-backed, compassionate explanations that help you build resilience from the inside out, you're in the right place. And the next time your emotions feel overwhelming, remember, your body might just be asking for care, not criticism.